Okay, we're gonna. Is it still echoing? No. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and get started. This meeting's officially called into order at 4:02 p.m. So as always, we're gonna go ahead and get started with our roll call. Senator Bigd.
Present.
Senator Gustafson.
Here.
Senator Gabbard.
Here.
Senator Vondra. Senator Alimo. Senator Mendonça.
Here.
Senator Parte. Senator Parte. Senator Salim.
Here.
Senator Nemo.
Here.
Senator Hussain. Senator Hussain. Senator Khan.
Here.
Senator Pham. Senator Pham. Senator El-Sadi. Senator El-Sadi. Senator Albera.
Here.
Senator Osman. Senator Stiff.
Here.
Senator Nelson.
Here.
Senator Weinzierl.
Here.
Senator Wickman.
Here.
Senator Ruiz.
Here.
Senator Wheeler.
Here.
Senator Hopwood.
Here.
Senator Rodditt.
Here.
Senator Bejurano.
Here.
Senator Swankett. Senator Flynn. Senator Berg.
Present.
Senator Walford.
Here.
Senator Mecklenburg. President Trenny. Vice President Maltari. And myself. Okay, perfect. So now, with that, we're going to go ahead and move into presentations. We just have one today. So Vice President Johnson, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'm back. Real brief, I'm trying to keep you up to date as far as what the Learning Technology Roundtable covers. So this month we covered 3 really key things that I want you to be aware of. Number one, we're focused on faculty who are using FlexSync and are having some level of success with engaging students. And so we had a great demonstration, or a great discussion / demonstration of how a faculty member in civil engineering is leveraging FlexSync to get more students engaged in the class, both in the classrooms. In some cases, he's rolling over to multiple classrooms and using FlexSync between 2 classrooms. In other cases, it's the traditional use of FlexSync where you have a class on campus and then you have the rest of the students that join from afar, from their offices, or I'm sorry, from their, wherever they are. And so we had a great discussion around that. And then what I want you to know is that all the faculty and students and staff that participate in the Technology Roundtable spent time talking about what's working and what's not with FlexSync. So we can look to improve FlexSync, but also pass on best practices. What are things that work that we want to pass on to other faculty, and how we can engage students more fully in those classrooms. So I think it's a good story that, and if you're interested in learning more about it, I'd be happy to provide you some of the resources that we discussed. We also had a team that talked about the integration of D2L and Teams. Teams meaning the Microsoft product that most of us are using, and D2L, of course, you all students know about that. And so we walked through both how to use those 2 products together today, and then we also made people aware that very quickly there's going to be an integration of those 2 products, a physical integration done by D2L that will allow this to be automatically integrated. So another really interesting piece of information. Then the last thing we talked about that I want you to be aware of is a combination of how to make everything that we're doing within this environment accessible, and how the accessibility resources, and specifically diversity and inclusion, is adding a whole set of tools, which I'm sure they'll come and present about very soon, to add to accessibility both in reading and in math. So we had a great presentation on that. So I want you to know that the university is focused on technology advancements, and mainly our focus is on how do we engage students in any way possible with the technology we have, and how do we change and morph and change and change or morph the technology to meet the students' needs based on either what faculty tell us or what the students are experiencing. And as always, I encourage you to provide students to come to the Technology Roundtable. I'm also very encouraged because Senator Khan and others participated in our first student fee roundtable, and we're kicked that off this year, last week or this week, I can't remember which. And we're starting now the discussions of all the capabilities of technology on campus, and we're engaging with students, staff, and faculty about what things we should improve and how is that fee being used and how are the other funding sources combined to meet the needs of students. So that's really my update for the day. I'd be happy to take questions about either of those two topics, Technology Roundtable and what we were discussing as far as students in the classroom, D2L integration with teams or accessibility, or what we're talking about at the student fee roundtable.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Seeing none. Thank you, Vice President Johnson.
All right, thanks for having me.
Next up, we're going to go ahead and move into open forum. Is there anybody here for open forum? Martin J. Caruso.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to give you a quick update on Maverick Adventures outdoor programming. So this past week, we hosted a campfire at Rasmussen Woods. We had a nice little crowd of students down there, and we had a nice time. We were at the park for about 3 hours and had a great fire the whole time. We made s'mores kits for the participants, and they really had a great time with that. And it seemed like we had some people meeting each other for the first time and really engaging well as students. So we're looking forward to putting together at least one more program before the end of the semester, and we're going to be working with our student committee later on this week on to begin planning that. If you're interested in being a part of that meeting, let me know. But yeah, we're looking forward to bringing you more and more programming next semester for Maverick Adventures. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Is there anybody else here for open forum?
Yes, this is Kevin Beisman, Director of Athletics, and I'd like to provide a little update on athletics and our return to competition and how that is going to have some impact on students and student seating at the sport of hockey.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Just briefly, we are, we had all of our fall athletic competition set aside by the NCAA, and we didn't have our traditional fall sports with cross country, volleyball, soccer, and football. And we've been working very diligently since that time, with the safety, health, and welfare of our student athletes and coaches and support staff at the forefront to get back to competition here for the winter season. And we've made some progress on that following guidance from the NCAA Sports Science Institute and working collaboratively with state of Minnesota and the Minnesota Department of Health and with our administration here on campus to move this forward. We've made some progress in that regard. Last week we announced a schedule for men's hockey. We will be starting competition the week of November 2021 at Bemidji State. Be home the following weekend. That's over the Thanksgiving holiday when we'll be at home against Bemidji State. And then a regular season competition will begin in league play January 1st. Similarly, we've made some recent progress with our Division II athletic portfolio and the sports that compete in the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference. We are very close to announcing a men's and women's basketball schedule that will start right after the first of the year, and a wrestling schedule that will also start the second weekend in January. Finally, we're in the midst of putting some finishing touches on a women's hockey schedule, a little more complicated because we compete against some Big Ten opponents in Minnesota and Wisconsin. and Ohio State that have much different COVID-19 testing protocols than the NCAA prescribes, and we're kind of working to reconcile those differences. But we do expect to announce a first half schedule that would be against similar schools in the form of Minnesota Duluth, St. Cloud State, and Bemidji State that are in our multi-sport conference for Division II. Also starting, we hope, women's hockey the weekend of November 2021. I would say in terms of the update, it's fairly positive as far as we do think we're getting closer to being in a place where we can bring our student athletes back to competition. Obviously, that's a real passion of theirs, and it's so generously supported by student government. And we certainly appreciate that, and they're very anxious to get out there and represent the university, in their various sports, and hockey and wrestling, basketball, and swimming and track and field and wrestling this winter. So pretty excited about that. One thing that you're probably familiar with because of COVID related restrictions that place some limitations on capacity and crowd size for the first series through the end of the calendar year through December 31st. So any men's and women's hockey events that we have down at Civic Center, attendance will be limited to 250 total. And, this was sort of anticipated that could be a situation where there could be limited attendance. We certainly hope that it might be more than 250, and we have plans and hopes and ambitions that after the first of the year that maybe we would move up to 500 or 1,000 fans, or maybe even 25% of capacity. But we'll have to see how that plays out. But that does place some restrictions on attendance and our ticket distribution to students. Normally for hockey, we have distributed 800 tickets, which is about 20% of capacity. And in anticipating the potential for some of these restrictions, we had talked to student government leadership during the summer about these possibilities. And the general agreement was that we would try to maintain a distribution of 20% of available tickets in any kind of restricted seating scenario. So with the restriction of 250 for men's and women's hockey through the first of the year, our distribution plan of student tickets will be limited to 50 tickets. And we will be announcing a lottery system where students will be able to express their interest for those games beginning the Monday before the series, home series. And then we'll do a randomized drawing for one ticket per entry in that lottery system. And then we will contact those students that were drawn, and they will be instructed on how to come by and pick up their tickets. So we certainly wish that wasn't the case. We really do appreciate student support. Obviously, that's become very popular. Men's hockey in particular is one of our more popular sports in terms of student attendance. We normally distribute all 800 tickets, so it's I'm sure a little troubling to have this restriction, but I hope you understand the restrictions that are imposed by others that we're dealing with and that we have to comply with. And we will hope to be able to get more students as we start up the second semester. But I just wanted to give you that update on Maverick Athletics and student seating capacity at the Civic Center for the sport of hockey. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions? Vice President Maltari.
In case I missed it, correct me. Is there any way students can view the games online? Because the capacity you mentioned is 250 of seating. So if there's any...
If I understood the question is, I believe the question was, is there any other way to take in Maverick hockey? And the answer to that is yes, and our marketing team will concurrently be announcing some other opportunities to watch Maverick hockey besides live venue attendance, because we're limited again, as you mentioned, to 250. But for home games, on the charter system that I believe is available in the dormitories. I hope I have that right. It's channel 826. You'll be able to watch Maverick hockey. And then also we do live stream it. Unfortunately, our partnership as a league for the WCHA is that's a pay-per-view subscription through Flow Hockey TV web streaming. So it is a pay-per-view type of opportunity. And then there's also radio broadcast of Maverick home hockey. But I do think, as we know, there's a strong appetite amongst our student body to support Maverick hockey. I think we are looking to potentially partner on some watch parties on campus to let student fans get together and watch in a safe and socially distanced manner Maverick hockey, either through the web stream broadcast or through the charter channel.
Wonderful. Are there any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else here for open forum? Anyone else here? Anyone else here? If not, we're going to go ahead and move on. So next is the approval of the consent agenda. Is there any dissent to the approval of the consent agenda? President Trenny.
I don't have enough table space, sorry. Yes, I dissent to add more appointments. And I will share my screen.
Is there a second? Okay, Senator Vondra seconds.
So these are the appointments. So Senator Wickman, Hunter Brings, Senator Wolfart for the Elections Commission, and then Library and Bookstore Advisory Committee will be Senator Mecklenburg. Did I say that right? Yeah. And then Anika Johnson. They weren't included originally, and yeah, so.
Okay. So is there any dissent to adding this to the approval of the consent agenda? So anyone who disagrees with this amendment, please either raise your hand of participants or raise your hand now. Is there any dissent? Any dissent? Any dissent? Okay. Sure. Okay. Okay, thank you. Seeing no dissent, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to assume unanimous consent, and the consent agenda will now read with those names. So with that, now we're going to go back to approving the consent agenda as a whole. Is there any dissent to approving the consent agenda as it reads now? Any dissent? Any dissent? Any dissent? Okay, seeing none, the consent agenda is officially approved with that modification, and we're going to go ahead and move on to officer reports. President Trenny, you have the floor.
I just have a couple updates. One, me and confer for anyone interested. I haven't had anyone reach out. No, it is not. Okay, thank you, Mark. Me and confer is this Thursday, 11:30 to 1. I have not had anyone express interest, so again, please just message me or email me if you want to come. Again, me and confer is student government's time with President Davenport and his entire cabinet. It's a fun time. Just message me, email or text message, I don't care, whatever, by, obviously tomorrow, by the meeting, and I can send you that information. The other thing going on this week is this Friday at, from 12 to 1:30, Students United's doing the Senate, they call it Student Senate Connects. Basically, it's allowing the 7 student senates across Minnesota State to kind of come together and collaborate on issues and hear about other universities, collaborate on projects, because I guarantee the projects you're working on, other senators might also be working on. So it's a good idea, to swap ideas, meet new people, see how their student government is versus ours. Again, that's noon to 1:30, and I can forward that Zoom link to anyone interested as well. I'll be going as well, and I don't know if anyone else up at the exec table will be, but it'll be fun. It will count as office hours as well, I believe. The other one is, so there's, some people may have heard, there's asymptomatic testing going on in the CSU tomorrow. It's for student groups that are going to be just trying to test the student population for asymptomatic people of COVID. And there's kind of more room they need more people to go. So I was reached out today to see if student government would have more people go. There's a couple times, just let me pull up the email. And Dr. Jones or anyone else, you can correct me as well if I get anything wrong. But basically, there's a couple different times tomorrow. There'll be a session from 1:30 to 2:15, and then 2:30 to 4, where you can just go to CSU 253, 4, and 5 and get a saliva test for COVID. Again, if you have symptoms, don't come. You go to Gander Mountain for that. This is asymptomatic. So if you don't have symptoms and you just want to get tested, kind of before Thanksgiving, before you go home, come to that event. It'll be free, I believe. Well, yeah, it is free. I'll be going, and I believe other people up here will be going as well. So I encourage you to go, and encourage other folks to go as well. Yeah. Are there any questions on that COVID specific? Oh, Dr. Jones, yeah.
Yeah, can I just, as a reminder, if you are symptomatic, we do have the Student Health Center set up with a respiratory clinic right here on campus. And so that's probably the most convenient option for most of our students.
Yep. Thank you, Dr. Jones. And then the last, so we have to do Center of the Month for October. Can I get a drum roll from in here? No, I'm sorry. Got it. Okay, Senator Gabbard, you're not here, but so I'll just say.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm always there. The one time I'm not there, right?
One time you're not there. The reason why exec chose you, just because you've been tabling a lot, doing a lot as a senator, and kind of putting student government out there, which is kind of a goal of every senator as well. So we just wanted to choose you. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Come get your trophy sometime.
I'll pick it up next week.
Okay, and that's it for me.
Are there any
Thank
questions?
you.
Are there any questions for President Trenny? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, Vice President Maltari.
Hello, everyone. I have a few things today. I've been working on a senator credit proposal. So like previously, if you guys might know, senators used to get paid. But, and that was some kind of appreciation for senators, like some sort of amount. But now, because we have changed some things, I was thinking of like doing it some other way. And I came up with an idea of providing credits to the senator instead of providing, of course, the stipend that was given before. So it is some kind of a senator credit proposal. So like I've been working with Dr. Welchos on it and Dr. Christine Pixley. They both they both deal with the academic side of things, of course. So I will be needing your input with the options that are available, and I'll be talking about it more in the future. And we need a few people who might be people who are willing to participate in the study. Like this semester would be an experiment on how the things go, a trial and error, if we can. There's nothing, no charge against your tuition, nothing else. It's just an experiment. And if you would like to volunteer for me, let me know, send me an email or a text. And I'll be talking about it more, of course, giving you options. And yeah, this was my first project. Second one was I attended the city and university meeting with Senator Walford. And yeah, we had some good conversations about what other colleges are doing and how they're dealing with COVID around Mankato. We also were able to discuss about what's going on in Mankato and what is city doing overall. Also, another thing I would just like to mention out of my report is one of our senators became a homecoming royalty. That is Senator Osman. A round of applause for her. And yeah, there's a program called Mav to Mav Connect, which was started by the provost. And they have a few questions about outreach. And the same questions are for President's Commission on Status of Women. So if you have any ideas about how to reach out to the students during these times and how to promote something, please let me know. They really would want your input, and shoot me an email. With that, I yield.
Wonderful. Are there any questions for Vice President Maltari? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, perfect. Seeing none, we'll move on to mine real quick. I have just a couple quick things. First of all, office hours, there were way more turned in, and it was great to see what everybody's up to. So good work on that. Let's keep that momentum going and make that the norm. That was awesome. And then my only other thing is we have another Dean of the Day. Today our Dean of the Day is Dean Wallace. If you want to introduce yourself, maybe give an update, that would be
Sure. Thank you very much for that. I presently am serving as the Interim Associate Vice President for Research and Dean of Extended Campus. So with the focus on the Dean position, I am responsible for the programs at Edina, at 7700 France, as well as at Normandale and some of our other extended campus locations. And then in addition, this year, now our fully online programs are a part of extended campus as well. And so we've been working really hard on that to offer additional websites, more useful websites, although the work we do already is so fantastic. Obviously, work with faculty, work with our instructional designers through under Mark Johnson, work with CETL, many different groups to try and help our faculty as well as our staff, because this has all been a big change, as you all know. And so we're trying our best to help support everyone in those particular areas. Also working with Vice President Jones on orientations for online students. So there's a lot going on. We're excited about it. And so thank you for letting me just introduce myself and be a part of the meeting.
Of course, thank you. Are there any questions for me or Dean Wallace? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, seeing none, then we're gonna go ahead and move on. So next up, we have a whole bunch of senator reports. I said this in my email, but if we just want to try and keep them to 2 minutes, since we have quite a few of them, that way we can keep moving. But let's go ahead and start with Senator Wickman.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'll try to keep this short and sweet then, since we have a bunch of reports today. My name is Zach Wickman. I am one of the off-campus senators currently. I just wanted to say this is my first semester on student government, and it has opened my eyes to so many things at this university. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Beginning the semester, I started with my senator project being looking at the upperclassmen and fraternity and sorority housing on campus. This has been an idea that was thrown around for some time. I discussed with John Bulcock, as well as reaching out to Dr. David Jones. It's kind of at a standstill right now, unfortunately, given the changing of the president at the university, as well as COVID-19. Dr. David Jones did inform me that there's a market survey that's taking place in the spring, and he has my contact information for that. So I'm hoping to assist in any way possible here with that in the spring to hopefully keep that project moving along. Since there's not a lot of ground to be made on that project at this time, I've been working with Senator Gustafson on a smaller project. He highlighted it for a short time in his report a couple weeks ago. We are looking for somewhere outdoors on campus for fraternities and sorority lives to have a physical presence that's noticeable for students. We're looking at things such as decorative rocks or monuments for each sorority to represent their names and their fraternity or sorority letters. We're currently in the process of reaching out to each fraternity and sorority to gauge interest in this, as well as to show them the plans we have outlined and to get any input that they may have. Moving forward, our next steps in this project are to be working with the school to find somewhere to have the rocks or the monuments located at. We've identified a lot of potential locations. There's a lot of green space outside of the library that we were hoping to utilize. So we'll be doing that in the next coming weeks. Also, we are looking to secure funding to do so. So that is the update on my projects.
Wonderful. Are there any questions for Senator Wickman? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you. Great. Next, I have Senator Ruiz.
Hi, everyone. My name is Margarita Ruiz. I am one of the off-campus senators here. This is my first term as part of student government. I'm super excited to be here. I've gotten to know a lot of the rest of the student government team, and it's been a joy to be on here. So thank you very much for that. Let's see. We have been pretty busy lately with this whole thing. I don't know if you guys have heard, we've had an election in the United States. And I was part of the Civic Engagement Committee, and I was working with Karen Anderson, Brian Swancutt, to get some social media presence out for the Civic Engagement Committee. So we created an Instagram, which was super cool. We shared a bunch of resources there for students to be able to have access to. We wanted to make sure that information such as like when and where to register to vote, and the stuff that came out with the mail-in ballots, that all that information was accessible to students on social media, so on Instagram. We got that done. In addition to that, I'm also working with President Trenny to set up the Student Basic Needs Committee. And our first meeting will be on November 13th. That's a Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. And I'm really excited about that and getting that started. I'm hopeful that we can get some really good projects off the ground to help our student population. Other than that, I don't really have too much. So if anyone has any questions.
Yeah, are there any questions? Any questions? Any questions? If not, thank you. And next I have Senator Bejurano.
Hello, everyone. My name is Paula, and I'm an off-campus senator. Currently, I'm studying remotely outside the U.S. Therefore, I've been working on class flexibility for students outside the U.S. and how to potentially accommodate them. Then I have contacted Dr. Mark and Vice President Maltari to talk about trying to improve this new learning experience for students who are taking classes remotely, and we came to realize we could help these students while focusing on a more limited set of courses. Also, we had a meeting with the Dean of Global of Education, Ms. Dalam, the Director of International Office, Ms. Fry, and Dr. Butch, to see the most common virtual learning challenges and the possible ways of addressing them. And also I had a meeting again with Ms. Fry and some international students to discuss challenges and successes they have faced while studying abroad and online. I've also worked with Mr. Fingston, the Director of Campus Recreation, and Mr. Steiger, he's the program coordinator for Maverick Adventures, to discuss about a bicycle share program, as well as resources available for the program at MNSU. That should be all. Thank you.
Wonderful. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Okay, Senator Walford.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan, and I am the Senator for Residential Life, as well as our City and Local Affairs Coordinator. For my updates, just to keep it a little short and concise, back in early October, an issue was brought to my attention concerning the Residence Hall Association involving just lack of access to kitchens and lounges as they were originally designed last year. And so together with RHA, I coordinated with Residential Life Senators to come up with a joint work group to go over possible resolutions that both RHA and Res Life Senators had input with. And in that measure, we came up with a resolution that unanimously passed through the Residence Hall Association on Monday. And that will be talked about more, as well as it was a it was the resolution for the Senate side was actually attached to the agenda email, so you should be able to see that. But the theme of it is that we are calling for the expectation that unrestricted access to kitchens and lounges continues through the end of the spring semester, unless COVID measures change, such as infection rates go up and such things of that nature. So in that spirit, that is my update here for now. Thank you so much for your time.
Wonderful. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Seeing none. Thank you. Senator Flynn. No, it's not on.
There we go. I'll try not to take up too much time here. Yesterday, yes, we had a thing happen, elections. I was helping as an election judge in Prescott, not exactly student government related, but I kind of represent student government there. The residence hall, the lounges and kitchens, I was contributing to the proposal that we'll be discussing later. I'm not going to go into detail on that because we're going to be hearing a lot about that today. And the res hall Wi-Fi, just kind of keeping an eye on it. Most of what I've been doing as a senator has been one-on-one interactions with constituents on specific issues they have on campus and how to connect with specific resources, and dealing with complex things like registration windows, financial aid, res life policy, a whole mess of stuff. And given all of the projects that have emerged and the number of one-on-ones I've been doing, my main project, the non-traditional students fitting in better in the dorms, I guess is what I'll call it. Kind of a convoluted name, but whatever. That's kind of been put on the back burner right now because of more pressing issues. And I hope to get a much greater focus on that in the coming weeks.
Wonderful. Are there any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you. Next up, I have Senator Vondra.
Hi there. I'm Frank Vondra. I'm Arts and Humanities Senator, excuse me. And my senator project for this semester has been the Performing Arts Library. There was the idea to turn it into classrooms. And I've been working, because that is not a very popular idea. And I've met with Dean Brown on this project, and he said that that idea was vetoed to turn it into classrooms, but we are considering turning it into something else, and what that may be is being discussed. I also met with Senator Walford on this topic. I also briefly assisted the theater department with their COVID-19 outbreak at the beginning of October, mainly just providing information on what campus policy as a whole was. Geez. And then I've also been involved with several committees. Also, since my last report, I was elected president of the Residence Hall Association. Thank you. And yes, the kitchens and lounge has been a very hot issue in our meetings because it was very unpopular and it's detrimental to students' food security. And we began work on the proposal, excuse me, Not used to talking in front of people, despite being a president. And then the Residential Life Senators, led by Senator Wolfort, joined this collaborative effort to craft this Resident Hall Association proposal, which passed. And this proposal is the basis of the resolution we are hearing today. And then on a personal note, I guess since my last report, I actually released an album of music for the first time in my life. So that is it. Are there any questions?
Yes, are there any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you. Woo! And then Senator Albera.
Hello, everyone. My name is Radiat, and I'm the current Senator of Social and Behavioral Sciences. For this semester, I've been working on how we can inform students in SPS department about internship and research opportunities. And for that, Senator Ilsadi and I had a meeting with our dean yesterday, and we have discussed on how we can communicate better with the students to inform them what opportunities there are on our campus and how we can provide towards achieving their goals. The dean suggested that we can help the students connect and gain information about internships, grad school requirements, and research opportunities through events that can be hosted by different RSOs within their majors. And I've tried to search for RSOs that are available for psychology majors and found the Psych Club, which is an organization where any interested psychology majors can join. And the other organization that I found is called Psychi. And this club requires students to complete at least 3 semesters and have a minimum GPA of 3.0. And during this, through this organization, students can get information about research. They can also do research within the group members in the clubs. And this can help students gain more information on how they can participate in research. And I will try to post these informations through my social media and help students know about it. And with this, I yield.
Wonderful. Are there any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Seeing none, thank you. That was great. We got through those really fast, but lots of good material. So next up, we have vacancies. We did not receive any applicants, so that'll be pushed to next week. And then I made a mistake. Right now it says that the Residence Hall Association affirmation resolution is under old business. I'm going to strike that and then actually add that to new business, since today is the first day that's being introduced. So with that, this motion was motioned by Senator Wolfort and seconded by Senator Flynn. Senator Wolfort, would you like to speak on your motion?
Yeah, so just as a, first of all, a question. So because this is put under new business, and it was previously under old business, for resolutions that are not bylaws, isn't there, aren't they able to actually technically be voted on the same week they are introduced?
Yep, unless it's a motion to be tabled, it'll be voted on today.
Okay, so it will be voted on today unless it is tabled. Okay,
correct.
Great. Yep, so I'll speak on the motion here and then I'll actually give way to the seconder of the motion as well. So the proposal here is to basically reaffirm a decision that was made on Monday. And this is a 2-month collaborative effort between RHA and the full board of residential life senators. So it has been a well thought out proposal that calls for unrestricted 24/7 access to both kitchens and lounges through the spring semester. Now, this is an expectation on both Res Life senators and RHA's end, because we are paying customers of the university, and as well as in a specific case for kitchens, Students with $250 dining dollar meal plans, they do require kitchen access, and we have heard many complaints from students and on-campus facilities of the lack of access to 24/7 kitchen services. As well as there have been issues over the last 2 months with lack of communication between RHA and the residential life administration, such as the case when the locks on the kitchens were changed without informing the RHA. There wasn't any collaborative effort between students and administration on that effort. So we actually just found out recently that locks were changed on kitchens so that basically a key would be required to unlock it. Now, thankfully, there is some effort on the side of administration to listen to students, and that's why there was actually an email that was sent out, I believe on Monday, that did express that kitchens would be unlocked here starting, I believe, on November 9th. But previously there wasn't, and the reason why this resolution is going forward is because previously there was an effort on behalf of Residential Life Administration to open up kitchens temporarily through Thanksgiving and winter break because they expected the amount of students in residence halls to go down. So we want to continue with this resolution to ensure that this expectation that these are opened with 24 access and it goes through spring semester. Just because this is a pressing issue, actually the number one issue. That's why the Residence Hall Association voted unanimously in favor of this resolution, and why RHA and Res Life senators were able to work so collaboratively. So thank you for your time.
Wonderful. Let's see, I have Senator Flynn. Would you like to speak on your second?
Before I speak, a quick point of order. Am I able to yield part of my time to someone else?
To someone in Senate or outside?
In Senate.
Sure, you can yield.
Okay. I just want to say that the reason, personally, I pushed for this so hard is with a lot of the changes that were made over summer and I guess spring too, a lot of the changes they made seem to have been made in the dark of night, and I personally felt like we had to codify this so that we show that we are trying to work with them in good faith. And with that, I yield my time to Frank Vondra, Senator Vondra, in his role as president of RHA.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Yes, this, as previously mentioned quite a few times, this has been a very difficult process to get this in. Also, my other main reason and the reason why we went forward on the vote despite the announcement Monday is because the phrase we've heard so much since this pandemic started is, these are unprecedented times. Well, I think we need to start establishing some precedent in case or when something like this happens again.
I have a point of order.
Point of order.
Frank, can you stay up there? Can you explain when you said, because you guys live on campus, a lot of us don't. When you said something in the newsletter, can you give more detail to people, like context as well? Thank you.
Sure. There's a Residential Life newsletter that is sent out via email, I believe, to everyone who lives on campus that gives updates on events that are happening on campus or any major things the RHA is doing, such as Fall Fest. And this announcement was posted in there. The announcement was that starting November 9th, the kitchens will be opened up. That good?
Was that all? Okay, thank you. We're now going to go ahead and enter a questioning period. So just a reminder, this is a good time for you to clarify maybe any language in the bill that you're unsure of, to make sure you understand the intent of the bill, or to ask any sort of questions. So since this is something that senators have been working on and it's a big issue to students, I recommend that we fully participate in this process. So are there any questions on this resolution? President Trenny.
I don't know if Ryan, since you're online, it's easier that way. Could someone share the proposal that was presented at RHA? Because it says in the bill that Student Senate endorses the RHA's proposal. Can we see like the full walkthrough of that so we just know what's in it before we endorse it?
Yeah, absolutely. I apologize about that. I was actually, I sent it to Kara, but I thought I sent it into the same email. Unfortunately, I sent it in a separate email. So let me pull that up here for you. Just have to download it to Adobe Acrobat. If you could just give me a moment, I'll just pull it up.
Yep. While you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and call for more questions. Are there any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, I'm going to wait to close the questioning period until we can see the proposal. Does he have sharing access?
If someone could give Ryan Wolfart co-host so he could share as well.
Do I have sharing ability now?
Try it, but no.
It doesn't look like I do at the moment.
Now try.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, let me scroll to this up here. So let me just see, maybe if I zoom out a little bit. No, I'll zoom in here for you. Okay, so let me do a walkthrough here of the proposal, if that's okay with everyone. So the situation as it's laid out in the proposal that was approved unanimously on Monday by the Residence Hall Association, which consists of representatives from every res hall on campus, so students. As it stands, both the kitchen and lounge are currently locked with access being limited due to COVID-19 regulations. Limitations include a restriction on how many times you can use these facilities during the duration of time you can use them, and having to physically go to the front desk and obtain the key, which deters students from using the kitchen and lounge. Although there has been a change in regulation for students with certain meal plans, we believe this does not suffice, as the students with certain meal plans are still deterred by the process involved with obtaining access to the facilities. And then the actual proposed solution, we as RHA would like to propose the following idea as a solution. Kitchen and lounges be opened permanently without key access 24/7 through the spring semester. And then if all options are exhausted, the RHA will then seek to offer a referendum to the student body, so to on-campus students living in the residence hall. If the referendum is denied, the RHA will seek a refund. So if the referendum is denied by administration, the RHA will seek a refund because these students are not able to access facilities they are paying for. And then this lists out the benefits of the proposal. Students will have better access to facilities such as the kitchen to cook meals more often, as well as a much closer water source. And students will have easier access to quiet study areas, especially now as most classes are online in Zoom format, so roommates have to share the same space often. So lounges with open access are better places for students. Potential obstacles: with the kitchen and lounges open, it might be seen as a hotspot for the outbreak. However, there are also cases of this scenario in bathrooms and lobbies. And RHA understands that if COVID-19 cases start to increase, this will be discontinued. The RHA also fully intends to have social distancing laws and mask laws followed at all times in these facilities. These policies would be enforced by the community advisors. So the equivalent for off-campus students, CAs are, on campus. Think of RAs. They're in every building on every floor to help students. And that is the proposal that was voted on Monday by the Residence Hall Association, and it was passed unanimously, as I said before, which speaks to the heart of the controversy over the issue.
Wonderful. So I'm going to call one more time for questions now that we've seen that. Are there any questions on the proposal or the motion? Any questions, President Trenny?
Is there any discussion you guys have had with Residential Life on your proposal? Because I'm assuming you guys talked about it before with them. Has there been any comment from them on your proposal?
Frank, would you like to speak about this specific? I do know that I want, you're also the RHA president, so I do want you to have a voice in this as well.
So, are you, okay.
Yeah,
Senator
I apologize.
Vondra?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
There we go. Yes, there was some brief communication with Residential Life before the meeting on Monday, and they had encouraged us to table the proposal and wait for a discussion about the spring semester. And that's really the only communication we had about it.
Okay, thank you. Senator Flynn? Do you have a question, just to clarify? I'm going to have you wait until discussion period. Okay, so are there any other questions? Any questions? Any questions? Seeing none, we're going to go ahead and move into discussion. Are there any points of discussion? Senator Flynn.
I would just like to highlight the reason we are pushing so hard on this is RHA was not given any heads up that this change was going to be made via that email that they sent out. And the agenda was already sent out. And the communication seems to be one way with the administration, and it would be important to get this on file now, because if they were to do the key switching on next Monday, they could also do the lounges at the same time, so they don't have to deploy the people twice if they choose to accept what we're about to do. So yeah, that's my input on why we're pushing so hard.
Wonderful. Are there any other points of discussion? Senator Swankut.
Okay. As CAs, this is something that we pushed for earlier in the year, well, even before the year began, to have these unlocked before students ever came to campus. And we were told to wait for RHA to bring it up and to go through RHA, and that's what we did. So I would like, this is just reaffirming what RHA has already said. And as a CA, this will make my life easier because I get complaints all the time about the kitchen and lounges being locked. And I would really, really like that taken off my plate right now, personally. And I think I can speak for a lot of CAs that have wanted this to happen for a very long time. So I'm glad to see that it's here.
Wonderful. Any other points of discussion? Any other points of discussion? Any other points of discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and call previous question, assuming there's no more discussion on the matter. So we're going to go ahead and now enter a vote. So if you're in person, we'll do a traditional placard vote. If you're online, I'll have you go to participants and use the yes, no, or raise your hand if you're abstaining. And we will do that. Okay. So all in favor of passing the Residence Hall Association affirmation resolution, please raise your placards. All opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, now let me check online. Okay. Has everyone online gotten their vote in? I'm a few votes short. Senator Albera. What? Senator Hopwood. Senator Rodditt.
Here.
So could you go ahead and cast your vote? Senator Salim, Senator Nemo. I'm missing votes from all of you. Yep. So that's Senator Alberas, Senator Salim, Senator Nemo. Senator Hopwood.
I'm sorry, what was that? Hello?
Senator Salim, do you have a question?
No.
Okay, I need you to cast your vote.
Okay.
Okay, I have one more.
For those.
Okay, so if I don't receive those votes.
Sorry.
Hello? Okay. If I don't receive those votes in the next minute, I'm going to go ahead and count those as abstentions. Let's see.
Audrey messaged me yes.
Okay. Okay. So on a vote of 27 to 0 to 2, This motion does pass. So with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to announcements. Are there any announcements? Vice President Maltari.
I forgot to add this in my officer report, but Center for Excellence Teaching and Learning are looking for 20 to 30 students to participate and share their views on online and flexing focus group discussion. If you participate in it, you get a $20 gift card, and if I will just put the poster in our group me chat. If you guys are interested, please tell your friends and participate. Who doesn't love free gift cards, right? So that's it.
Wonderful. Are there, Senator Alimo?
All right, so me and Manav are working on a Zoom etiquette. So if anybody has any ideas or thoughts on how to help students be more attentive on Zoom, that would be nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements? Any other announcements? Any other announcements? Okay, seeing none, we're going to go ahead and move on and do roll call. Senator Bigd.
Present.
Senator Gustafson. Senator Gustafson.
Here.
Okay. Senator Gabbard. Here. Senator Vondra. Senator Alimo. Senator Mendonça.
Here.
Senator Parte.
Here.
Senator Salim.
Present.
Senator Nemo.
Here.
Senator Hussain. Senator Hussain. Senator Khan.
Here.
Senator Pham. Senator El Sadi. Senator El Sadi. Senator Albera.
Here.
Senator Osman. Senator Stiff.
Here.
Senator Nelson.
Here.
Senator Weinzierl.
Here.
Senator Wickman.
Here.
Senator Ruiz.
Here.
Senator Wheeler.
Here.
Senator Hopwood.
Here.
Senator Rodditt.
Here.
Senator Bejurano.
Here.
Senator Swancutt. Senator Flynn. Senator Berg.
Here.
Senator Walford.
Here.
Senator
Here.
Mecklenburg. President Trenny. Vice President Maltari. And myself. Wonderful. This meeting is officially adjourned at 5:10 p.m.